Hello friends, in today's video I'll show you how to write your AWS Lambda code using Java. I'm sure a lot of Java developers would be excited to know this. So we will be using AWS Java SDK to develop our simple yet very interesting use case. If you have seen my previous video where we have seen a lab of AWS Lambda using Node.js code, we'll take a similar use case but with some more additional functionalities. So to start with, what are all the softwares do you need before you start? You need to have Eclipse. You not necessarily, but most of the Java developers use Eclipse, so we will use Eclipse. I am using Spring Tool Suite 4 Eclipse IDE for my development, and on top of that, you need to install SAM, just serverless. I just forgot the full form of SAM. Let me show you just a moment. Yeah, this is exactly what you're seeing on my screen. AWS Serverless Application Model. You need to install the Windows version of it if you're using Windows, and then I will show you how to uh, install Eclipse plugins which is specific or which will be helpful for your development process. Now I have already installed AWS SAM in my local laptop. I would send you a link in the description from where you can download and install SAM software. Alright, so let me go back to my Eclipse. So the first thing which will be do is we will install all the Eclipse plugin which will enable us to write a AWS code and deploy that into our AWS console. So just go to help Eclipse Marketplace. Just type AWS in the find search bar, and the first column which you will be seeing is the one you will be installing here. Just type AWS, and this is the one, AWS Toolkit for Eclipse, and this is released by Amazon Web Services and the license is Apache 2.0, so we are good. Just install. So this is a reliable plugin which is developed by AWS themselves, so I think it shouldn't be any problem in installing this. So you should be seeing something like this. So we would be needing Lambda for sure. We don't need Elastic Beanstalk, and if you're trying to deploy directly into this AWS code deploy, we'll be needing it. So let it be for now. Let me uninstall AWS RDS. Alright, and click on confirm. If you want, you can keep all these plugins, there is no harm. I'm just removing because it will speed up the installation time. We don't have to wait for a long time until this all gets installed. Accept it and finish. Next thing what we have to do is go to Windows preference, and then okay, let's wait until the software is installed. Once that is done, restart your Eclipse. Once you restart, go to help, acknowledge the pop which you just saw, and go to Windows preference, and here go to AWS Toolkit, and if you just see here, it is picking up the access key and secret key which I have which has been saved as a credential file in my local laptop. So make sure you create your access key and access secret key before you start development, because that will help you to directly deploying your application into your AWS account. And this is the path where your credentials file should be stored. If you don't know how to create your credentials file, please see our IAM videos, and then go to next. This you have to change the path of your sam.exe. So let me go to browse. I think it's been saved in C drive, program files, Amazon. Not sure where that is being saved. Let me figure it out. Runtime scripts, and here it is. So make sure you give the path of your sam.exe properly. I think by default in Windows it will be saved in program files, Amazon AWS SAMCLI folder, inside it runtime scripts and sam.exe, and then I think now we are good to go. These are some more options. If you want, you can just explore it. By default we'll be using US East. Okay, here it is, North Virginia, and I think we are good now. We have configured everything. Yep, so let me apply and close it. So we have set our Eclipse with AWS plugin, and we have installed our SAM software in our local. Our access keys are set and it is placed in the credentials file. So basically we have done with our local setup. Now let me import the Maven project which I have created already. I will share the GitHub link in my description. As of now, let me just import the project. Let's click on Maven, existing Maven projects. I will also show you how do you create your serverless project. All right. Next. So this project I have already created, so that's why I'm importing it. But if you want to create from the scratch, go to new and then go to others, and under AWS you have to select AWS serverless Java project. Go to next, give a name. If you want to create any blueprint you can give that, but otherwise you can just choose hello world and then click finish. It will create a Maven project for you with all the necessary folder structures and files which is required to build your Java SDK project. So this is our simple SDK file. If I open this package, I have created a file called S3 image resize handler. So basically what this file does is it's a basic trigger functionality which we saw in our previous video. So you have an S3 bucket, a source bucket. So whenever I upload any image into the source bucket, it will resize the image and it will push that resized image into the destination bucket, and after that it will send an email to the client or the customer, whoever you want to notify about it, right? So this is a very pretty basic functionality. For that I have uh, created a class which implements request handler and have created S3 event as one of the generic. So the code is pretty straightforward, and you can also get this code from the AWS official documentation. I just took the code and changed a little bit to make it more interesting for you. Alright, so now that this code is ready, there are certain other files which I want you to show. That is called serverless.template. So this serverless.template is pretty important when you have to deploy from your local. So you need to specify what is the handler where you have written the logic. So handler class, you write the name of the Java class where which has the logic which should be triggered, and then you have to give the runtime whether it is Java 8 or Java 11, and then in the code URI you just give the path where the jar file will be placed and what all policies does this need. So here we are dealing with S3 and SCS, so we are creating an S3 bucket. So for that reason I have given Amazon S3 full access, and we are also sending an email. So for that I have given Amazon SES full access. So these two policies I have attached. Now when I deploy this, it will automatically create a role in the name of resize image role. It will attach these two policies in that role, and it will um, upload this jar file in an S3 bucket. So basically behind the scene, this plugin will write a CloudFormation template and it will execute the CloudFormation template in CLI. So deploying this is pretty simple. Just right click on your project and select Amazon Web Services and select deploy serverless project. So once I choose deploy serverless project, I have to select the region where I have to deploy. So let me give US East North Virginia, and then it will see if there is any existing bucket. I will be using a new bucket, so let me create a bucket. So this will create a bucket in this name. So all my artifactory or jar file will be saved in this bucket, and the Lambda function will execute. It will fetch the jar file from this S3 bucket and it will execute it. And this is the CloudFormation stack. It will create a stack called Java SDK Heaven stack and nothing else, I guess. So let me go to next. Okay, and let me queue finish. So the moment I give finish, it will start deploying this project. So uh, this will come up with a UI where it will show you the status, or a dashboard where you can see the status of the deployment. So let us wait for some time until the deployment is over. So it has started, creation in progress. It is creating a role and the name of resize image role. This role will have two policies which I just showed you in the serverless.template. It is creating a CloudFormation stack. I think creation complete. Yes, so now the creation is complete. Now let's log in into our AWS console and see a new Lambda function, and we'll also check whether a role is being created in the name of resize image role, sorry. Okay, and the Lambda function name is resize image. So let us check that. Okay, this is my Lambda. Let me refresh my screen. So here is the Lambda function which we saw. It is Java SDK-stack, resize image, and some alphanumeric characters. And also let me go to my IAM console and go to roles, and let's see if any new role has been created. Refresh the screen and you should be seeing a new role here. So this role should have the two policies which I just specified in my serverless.template file. So excellent, these things has been created. Now let's go back to my Lambda and we need to create a source bucket. So let me go back to my S3 and create a dummy S3 bucket here. So let me say image source US-east. All right. So this is the bucket name. Let me create one. So we will be uploading our images in this bucket, and once we upload an image, the Lambda will be triggered and it will resize the image and upload the new image into a destination bucket. Let me also create a destination bucket in the name of resized in US East North Virginia region, and then create. Let me check the spelling. I have just appended resized in the code somewhere, so it will just pick up the name of the source bucket and it will append the suffix resized. So let me just copy paste so that the spelling should not be an issue. Alright, created. Now that we have created two buckets, one is a source bucket and one is a destination bucket. Now let me go back to my Lambda and try to attach this bucket as a trigger. So if I actually come down the function code You can't see the code here because it has been fetched from the S3 bucket. And if I actually come down here, you can see the stack name, logical ID, lambda has been created by SAM. And then if you see this basic memory, it is picking 512. So even the same code, if I write in Node.js or Python, it will just use 128 MB. But Java takes a pretty extra RAM to execute our business logic. Okay, so we are good with it. So let me attach a trigger. Create S3 here and then select our bucket. It is called image source -east and the event will be put. Alright, so let me acknowledge it and add it. So there are two things which will be happening. So the moment I upload any image into this bucket, it will resize it, save it in destination, and then send an email. And let me go to our S3 bucket and let me add some basic image for you. Upload, add files. Let me go to my pictures, save pictures, or I'll go to my wallpaper, select something. It's of .png 24.2 KB. Upload. Now let me go back to my destination bucket. I should be able to see some file here now. Yes guys, as you can see the file, and if you see the size, this is 395 bytes. So if I see the size of the previous image, it should be somewhere around 24.2 KB, and that is 294 bytes. So it has resized the image and it has published the new image into the new S3 bucket. Now let me go to my Gmail account and see if I have received a. I think we missed to do one thing. If I go back to the code and if I just see the email ID, I think I've used a wrong email ID. I think we have to redeploy this code. Okay, let me quickly do this. So AWS and deploy serverless project, and here choose existing stack, otherwise it will create a new lambda function, and then go to next and then finish. Let me re-upload a file once this is deployed. Okay. Update complete. Amazing. Now let me also verify my SES. Yes, I do still have this email ID verified. Now let me quickly put some other file. Let me delete this, or let it be. I'll just upload a new file. Okay. Let me select this. Upload successful. Let me also go to the new destination bucket and show you if there is any new image. Yes, so this is the one. Now let me go to my inbox, and yeah, so the email has also been triggered. It says Amazon is here, successfully resized the image, blah blah blah, from this bucket name, and this is the file name, and it has been uploaded to this new bucket with the new file name. So this is a pretty simple Java SDK, a lambda function created using Java SDK. So I will upload this in my Git and I will share the link of my Git repository. You can go through this code. It's a pretty simple code. If I just see this, I'm just creating a S3 notification record and I'm just hard coding this bucket names, and then at the end these are some logic which I just picked from the AWS official documentation, and this is using some libraries called image to resize the image. Uh, Even I myself am not very sure about this library, but once I upload this new image into this bucket, I'll be calling this notify email. This is a pretty simple code. I'm just framing a HTML subject and I'm just passing this HTML body into this method. This is a pretty simple library to send an email. So if you just go through this code, you'll be able to understand by yourself. And if I go to the POM file, I have used some Amazon SDK plugins. Oops. Okay. So there's a plugin called AWS Java SDK ACS. This is for email, and then this is for Lambda functions. So I'm using these two libraries to build my code. Okay guys, so that's it from my end. So I'll try to come up with pretty more exciting use cases from AWS Lambda. Mostly in production I have seen people using Python or Node.js for the Lambda. The basic reason is the RAM usage. We don't need 512 MB RAM to be used even for a hello world Java Lambda application, right? So if I just have to print hello world, it will still use 512 MB RAM. So for that reason, mostly in Lambda, people will prefer languages like Node.js or Python. I've hardly seen anybody using Java. But if you're a Java developer and if you want to stick with Java, then you can follow this video and you can use uh, pretty much the same steps which we have used to configure our Eclipse, and we installed SAM, and pretty much this SAM and Amazon Eclipse plugin will help you to create your code. And one more important thing which I like to say, when you create a serverless project, it will also create a class for you, and that class will have a pretty much the skeleton project. So let me also create and show you instead of just talking about it. So click on new and click on other. So if you have no idea which Java interface to implement and which functions to override to create your AWS SDK function, so this plugin pretty much does most of the job for you. So let me say AWS SDK, and I just select hello world. This comes with a blueprint, or if I select article, this has some interesting thing, like this also comes up with the API gateway and REST API. I will use this when we see a demo on API gateway. So let me just click hello world, click on finish. So let me see what all things Eclipse creates for you. Alright, so this comes up with a serverless.template. So this pretty much is a basic template which you need to deploy your application. This comes with properties, handler, runtime, and code URI. There's no policies. Alright, but this comes with a pretty much basic thing. And then if I go to my hello world.java, this implements request handler, and yeah, so you have to start writing your code from handle request. So this is the starting point of your application. If you compare with our S3, we are doing the same thing. Yes, this is the starting point of our application. Alright guys, this is a simple video. The agenda of this video is to how to set up your Eclipse IDE with the necessary plugins used for developing your AWS SDK project. I hope you like this video. Please comment if you want to know anything more, or if you want me to talk on any other interesting topics. Thank you. Goodbye.